This is the Lange one from Lange Söhne. As one of the first watches to be released after their revival back in the 90s, it is already one of Germany's most recognizable watch designs of all time. With its iconic asymmetrical yet pleasing to look at dial, the beautifully designed and executed 18-karat gold case, and of course the quintessential Glashütte style finish work on the movement, it's safe to say that the Lange one is a modern icon. Lange Söhne is an old watchmaker based in the center of watchmaking in Germany, Glashütte. Founded in 1845 by Ferdinand Adolf Lange, Ferdinand made exclusive pocket watches which, with their extraordinary craftsmanship, functionality and design, quickly put the brand on the map. It was nationalized in 1948 after the Second World War and then revived by the original founder's great-grandson, Walter Lange, in 1990 after Germany was reunified, under the name Lange Uhren GmbH. Since the year 2000, Lange Söhne has been a subsidiary of the Richemont Group, which owns other prestigious brands such as IWC, JLC, Cartier, Montblanc, Vacheron Constantin, Piaget, Panerai, among others. The brand has an estimated yearly production of 5,000 watches and as of 2018 employs 770 people. The watch is delivered in a simple but very solid leather and wooden box, which is interestingly made in Italy and features a nicely finished steel unlocking button on the front. The watch is surrounded by a soft and exclusive feeling fabric and comes with a nice leather booklet featuring all of your documents. This specific watch was purchased in 2015 at Nyman's Ur in Stockholm, Sweden. The Lange one is available in many different variations of colors and complications, from midnight blue dials and platinum cases to tourbillons and other high-end complications. But the one we have here, reference 191.032, features the original design and set of complications, with a few mechanical and visual updates that have come along the way. The watch is 38.5mm in diameter, 9.8mm tall and has a lug-to-lug distance of 47mm, giving it a contemporary look and feel on the wrist. And with its solid 18-karat gold case and buckle, it gives this very solid feeling both in the hand and more importantly on the wrist as well. The case features a combination of brushed and polished finishes, which I prefer over entirely polished watch cases. The lugs feature this really interesting design which I have problems describing, so let's just say it looks great. And at 10 o'clock you've got a nice rectangular pusher for operating the big date mechanism as shown here, and at 3 o'clock you've got a nicely proportioned and signed crown which has a very solid action to it. Winding the movement is extremely satisfying, and clicking it over to change the time gives off an incredibly solid feeling that I've never experienced before. With a water resistance rating of 3 atmospheres, this is definitely a watch you should be more cautious with when it comes to water. In terms of the crystals used here, you've got a slightly domed piece of sapphire on the front and a flat piece of sapphire on the back, both of which seem to have really great AR coating, actually the best I've ever seen. The case back is secured via 6 screws and features a brushed finish, and yeah, I know you're looking at that beautiful movement, don't worry, we'll get there. The dial is made out of a solid piece of silver, giving it a hue and light play I haven't seen anywhere else. On the dial you'll find a time and minutes main dial, a sub-dial for the seconds, a power reserve indicator on the right, German Gothic printing and a big date complication. All of the gold details on the dial are made out of the same 18-karat pink gold as the cases. The main dial and the sub-dial for the seconds feature this very fine concentric circle pattern that adds a bit of flair and detailing to the dial without making it flashy or over the top. Graceful and elegant are two great words to describe this dial and this watch overall. After spending some time with this rather unusual dial configuration, while it was a bit weird at first, I do have to say it is very pleasing to look at and not annoying or hard to tell the time in the slightest. In fact, I really like it. It gives this watch more of a unique and distinguished look, and it does that with style. Watching the power serve indicator slowly go up while winding the watch really is a great experience, and I feel like it is one of the best complications to have in a manual wind dress watch like this. The leather strap that's situated on this watch is the best I've ever experienced in real life. It is of extremely high quality, it's incredibly comfortable on the wrist, has just the right amount of shine and tapering to it, and it really feels like it's tailor-made for this watch in specific, and it's definitely not some sort of off-the-shelf product. And with its solid 18 karat gold and kind of angularly designed clasp, it complements this watch perfectly. And now it's time for the beauty visible through the back sapphire crystal. First of all, it's called the caliber L121.1 and is a rather large movement which fits in this case perfectly. This movement is entirely crafted in-house, including the balance spring that in this watch beats at a frequency of 21,600 beats per hour. Not a single component visible is raw, because everything here is finished to perfection. You've got the iconic balance cock finishing, which is unique for every watchmaker. You've got the old school gold chaton and screws surrounding most of the visible jewels. It's got beveling, mirror polishing, heat blued screws, and yeah, so much more. The movement is put together and tested twice to ensure perfection. The bridges and plates are made out of untreated German silver, and while it's a little bit disappointing that you're not able to see that much of the inner workings of this watch, the plate that covers the movement absolutely serves a purpose, as it strengthens the overall build of the movement. In terms of its technical features, the caliber L121.1 sports a dual mainspring system, giving it a respectable, although not crazy power serve of 72 hours. It does, however, have a very impressive amount of jewels, that being 43, ensuring the longevity of the components. When the power serve gets to 0, the second hand automatically puts itself in its zeroing position. Why? Well, I've emailed the company and I'm currently waiting on a response, and as soon as I get one, I will update you guys with what they have to say about this complication in the comment section down below. In terms of its other specifications, it's got a free-sprung balance that features a so-called swan neck regulator, so all in all this movement is impressive. It might not look very complex or intricate, but it's extremely well made, put together and finished. It really is impressive. So, how does it wear? Well, with its contemporary size of 38.5mm and its rather solid feel, I think it wears great on my 19.5cm wrist. I've seen this watch worn on wrists as small as around 16 to 17 centimeters, and I think it looks great. If you have smaller wrists than that though, this might not be the watch for you if you're after a typical dress watch look on the wrist. This subject, however, is of course extremely personal, so if you like how it wears on your wrist, of course, go for it. So I've really enjoyed the couple of weeks that I've been able to spend with this watch. It is such an interesting watch to wear and look at. It's incredibly well made, as every tiny detail is perfected, and I've really had a hard time coming up with anything to complain about. So I'll just complain about the price. This watch retails, and wait for it, 32,000 euros. So it's definitely not an affordable watch, but then again, if you want perfection, you're gonna have to pay for it. To try and summarize this watch in one sentence, this is what I'd say. This watch is extremely well made, it's unique, expensive, luxurious and comfortable, all while not being flashy. And I think that's what I like most about this watch. It manages to have all the traits of an intriguing luxury watch without being obnoxious or flashy. It just is what it is, and it's awesome.